Elton John fan, record collector, and record store owner Paul Smith talks about that connection that all Elton John fans have. I'm John Beaudin from Rock History Music. This is part one of a multi-part series where we talk to fans. Okay, if you know this channel, you know we talk to a lot of rock stars. That's kind of our gig. But I've also really liked talking to fans who either have super man or woman caves where they're dedicated to one particular artist, or super fans. And we're not talking fair weather fans here who kind of like only the top 40 hits of an artist. We're talking about someone who knows every album and every song. Paul Smith is one of those. I first noticed Paul, we were Facebook friends, but I noticed that in the Allentown, Pennsylvania show for Elton John, out of nowhere, people were sending him pictures of the concert. And you know why? Because he and his daughters were in the backdrop of that first USA Farewell Yellow Brick Road tour. He explains.
What happened there, a few months back, because I'm a member of Elton's Rocket Club, have been since day one when it started in 1999, I think it was now. I got an email, which obviously was a bulk email that went out to everybody that was members of the Rocket Club, saying they're looking for super fans to take part in a video for Crocodile Rock for Elton's farewell tour. Can you send a picture in with you in, you know, some Elton John stuff and write a reason why you think you should be in it? So I told him my story of being a fan since I was 8 years old, and I'd happened to buy some of Elton's clothing and stuff over the years from when he's done his out of the closet sale. So I dressed up in full Elton mode, sent the stuff in, and a few weeks later they invited me to London to do some filming for it, and I didn't know until that very evening that the first show went out that I was going to be in it. Because I think they invited quite a few people in, and so obviously a few of the fans that I know in America spotted me up there straight away and started sending me pictures. So I woke up to a load of pictures in the morning. So that's how I first found out I was going to be in that video.
That's how you found out?
Yeah. Didn't know I was going to be in it until it was actually shown on that very first night.
Yeah, I'm sending it to my friends going, wow, good on Elton for acknowledging that. Perfect time to do it,
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I think, he wanted to involve his fans in some way, and what a great way to do it. So, amazing. I still can't believe it. And my daughters are really big fans as well. They've been around his music all their life, and the amount of times as young children, 5, 6 years old, they were singing songs off by heart like Elderberry Wine. So they'd really taken the music in. So again, along the way, they've been to many shows with me and my wife as well.
You as a fan, when did that start?
It started, John, back in November 1972, so nearly 46 years ago. And it's a story I've told many times. Up to that point, I just recently got into music. My brother is 8 years older than me, so he started bringing music into the house. And so I started saving my pocket money up and buying singles. And before I got into Elton John, I had a little collection going of, 5 or 6 singles. Not many, because I was only 8 years old back then. And then one evening, my parents always used to let me stay up late and watch the Royal Variety Show. It was a real treat on a Sunday night in the UK. We had this show which had a lot of, the top celebrities of the day doing performances in front of our Queen. So they let me stay up that night, and partway through it, Elton John comes on, and he sings, I Think I'm Going to Kill Myself. He'd broken off his American tour at the time to fly into the UK and do this. And then the second track he played was Crocodile Rock. And that was his then single. And I was just taken by it. And I think it was the whole thing. It was just his persona, the way he was dressed. But up until that point, I'd never, looked at the music I'd been buying in any other way of just liking it. But seeing Elton on the stage there, I thought, I really like this person's music and him as a whole. And so my following birthday, my parents bought me Don't Shoot Me, I'm in a Piano Player, and as they say, from there on it was history. I got everything because it came out for birthday presents and saving pocket money up, and I became a fan that night in 1972 as an 8-year-old.
Is there any way you can take us through the store?
Yeah, so I'll just give you a view around the shop. Can you see that okay?
Appreciate
So
that.
that's our CD area there that I'm pointing towards now.
Yeah.
Still a lot of people buy CDs. Then we come on to, this is my favourite bit, where can you see the We Love Vinyl insignia on the back wall?
Mm-hmm.
So that I got put on the back wall. And then last year I got a nice picture of Elton commissioned. Can you see that?
Very clearly.
Yeah, this was a local artist, and she's a very talented girl. And she made that canvas, the background canvas that you see Elton painted over, out of newspaper cuttings that involve Elton. So if I go as a close up, all those clippings on there relate to Elton in some
Oh my
form.
God. Paul, what's her name?
Francesca is her name. Francesca Heward. Chess is what she likes to be known as, but she is such a fantastic artist, very talented. So that's that. Here's my little Elton John section here, which is part of my Elton John store. So
I see Jump Up. I love that album.
Yeah, so I have a lot of fans that come in and visit me that I've made acquaintance with all over the world, which come and flick through all the Elton stuff. So I've got a nice lot of Elton vinyl here.
Is that a stack of Rock of the Westies I see there?
Yeah, there's a stack of Rock of the West is there, which again is still a popular seller. A nice early copy of 171170, which is always nice to play in the shop. I get to play a lot of Elton John music in the shop, which is good. There's a little section of memorabilia type stuff, singles, a few singles. So yeah, that's my little Elton John section. There's another section over here of Elton stuff, which has got some books and other types of memorabilia, some programs.
Paul, what's the name of your store?
The name of the store is Vinyl Collectors and Sellers.
Okay.
And we have a website, which is www.vinylcollectorsandsellers.co.uk, so people can see what we get up to with that. This is all the new vinyl, so this is new vinyl. All this end of the shop and round this bit is pre-owned vinyl. So there's a big market for pre-owned vinyl at the moment, but also stuff's been reissued and new artists are putting stuff out on vinyl. So this is the part of the shop where we've got new vinyl. A couple of new ones there. So Big Picture, which came out for the first time on vinyl last year, which was great to see, and also Songs from the West Coast, which again never got a vinyl release initially. So yeah, that's the shop.
Beautiful shop, Paul. Really nice.
Yeah, I mean it's like a dream come true, really, working in here. We get a lot of Elton John fans in here from all over the world. It's great to see them, and that's the thing about having the Elton John Facebook group, is that I've made so many great friends over the years, and some that I've never met but have just communicated to online. Some I've had the pleasure of meeting in other parts of the world. When we went to Madison Square Garden twice, we had like fan meets, and
oh, cool.
We go to the concerts now here in the UK, and we get a lot of fans from all over the world descending, and we meet up. So it's, in the background there, Elton's been responsible for making a lot of long-term friends. And like I say, some of these people I've known for nearly 20 years now.
Paul Smith owns Vinyl Collectors and Sellers. It's a UK Salisbury record store, which has done really, really well. He also runs the Elton John online page on Facebook. There'll be links in the description of this video if you want to join up. He shared with us something that happens with almost any artist. When we're talking about diehard fans, we're talking about people who read the liner notes, bought all the books, were always interested in what was going on with a particular artist. In this case, Elton John, the first album I ever bought, I've mentioned this many times on this channel, was Madman Across the Water by Elton John. He's my favorite artist of all time. I know I cover Supertramp and Genesis and Toto, and I love Bruce Hornsby, but Elton John is my number one artist of all time. When I was talking to Paul Smith and we talked for about an hour, one thing kept coming up. Of course, the classic albums came out from Elton John. How can you ignore those? Especially now that Elton John is on his farewell 3-year tour. But there's a connection that forms between people when they share the love of one thing. There's that common bond. When your trajectory of your life changes because of an artist. Elton John certainly did that for me and for Paul Smith. We talk about that connection.
A big thank you to all the fans around the world that have become very good friends of mine over the years through doing the Elton John online Facebook group. And only this week, one of my good friends in America, who's been to quite a few of the farewell concerts, sent me this shirt, which came from the Washington DC concert. So one of the exclusive shirts that Elton's doing for each individual show. So,
wow.
Yeah, and I got one for the Philadelphia show as well, so I could end up with a wardrobe full of Elton John shirts at this rate.
We're going to have more from Paul Smith coming up in our videos where we talk about specific albums from Elton John. We're going from Empty Sky right to Wonderful Crazy Night. We're going to feature all the albums, but here's the deal. It's not going to be just me talking about Elton John albums. As much as I could ramble on about Elton John, we're going to invite you, the fan, to come on and talk about individual albums. Your stories. Have you met Elton John? How old were you when you bought the first album, for instance? From 1969, Empty Sky. That's the first one we're doing. A lot of North Americans first heard that album in 1975 when it was finally re-released in North America. I certainly did. We've got the top 40 Elton John songs coming out in a few weeks. At last, we're getting this countdown out based on a poll that we had over a year ago. And again, if you have a room dedicated to Elton John in your house, we want to talk to you. We want to interview you on Skype and feature that room on our channel. Why not? Other eyes should see that, should see your dedication. And by the way, that goes for any artist. If you've got a super room, get a hold of us and we'll interview you. I mean, it's all in good fun. Anyone who's seen some of our older interviews, when I talk to people on Skype, the backdrop of albums are all autographed. And a lot of those are from Elton John. I want to thank Paul Smith for spending some time with us. And remember, he'll be featured on future Elton John videos. Ways to connect with Paul in the description of this video. Make sure you comment on our video, subscribe to our channel, and share our videos. I'm John Beaudin. This is Rock History Music.